Hello friends, you're on the Infoport Psychology channel, and we're happy to have you back in our 8th installment of our series, Why Do Some Men Get a Chance, and I Don't? Today we continue to look at important aspects of communication that will help you become more confident and successful. What are we going to talk about today? Why stay yourself, even if you want to try on a seductive image? Why is it important to know how to manage your energy sources? How do you not get hung up on one result and move on? Why do any women value genuine interest more than subterfuge? And why be unpredictable, but only in a good way? These topics not only help you understand women better, but also help you improve your rankings. Give a like, subscribe to the channel, Infoport Psychology, and click on the bell so you don't miss important tips. Let's go figure it out. Friends, sometimes it seems that in order to be liked, you need to tweak yourself a little, add mystery, shine with non-existent talents, or attribute to yourself a character trait that is more suitable for the hero of the novel than for you. But here's the interesting thing. Such attempts work only temporarily. The real you will still show up, and it's inevitable. And yes, if you introduced yourself as a virtuoso violinist and she brought you a violin on the third date, you'll have to blush a lot more than you bargained for. Why is it important to remain yourself? Falsehood is sooner or later revealed. Trying to appear as someone else can be compared to renting a suit. Everything seems to be perfect on the outside, but it is not yours. A woman is bound to notice inconsistencies, and this will only spoil the impression. If you said you do yoga, and then at her suggestion to go to a class together you said, "Can we just lie on the couch?" The truth will be revealed instantly. Real interests make you unique. Your hobbies are what make you you. If you love soccer, comic books, or making pasta, that adds to your personality. And if you say, "I'm into everything you like," it sounds like you're applying to be a personal fan. Honesty is attractive. Women appreciate sincere men. If you show who you are right away, it creates a foundation for a trusting relationship. It's better to say, "I'm terrible at dancing, but I'm willing to give it a try," than "I'm a world salsa champion," and then accidentally step on her foot. Don't make up new hobbies. Lying about a hobby is like building a house of cards. It's beautiful, but it doesn't last. Example, she, "Do you like art?" You, "Sure, I love modern art." And then you can't recognize Picasso from the paintings in kindergarten. It's better to be honest. "I'm not very knowledgeable, but I'm ready to learn more. Will you tell me about him?" Don't imitate. Trying to copy her style or interests seems unnatural. Example, she, "I love jogging in the morning." You, "Me too. Even though the last time you ran was when you were late for the bus." This is not inspiring, but only makes her wonder, why is he trying so hard to please? Keep it simple. You don't think you're an encyclopedia of knowledge or a genius in every field. Show that you are open and willing to learn, not compete. Если вы захотите впечатлить своим рассказом о теории струны, а вы сами в ней не разбираетесь, это точно не произведет того эффекта, который вы ждете. How do you stay yourself and still be interesting? Share your real hobbies. Talk about what you really like. If it's comic books or soccer, don't be afraid of it. When you have real emotions, people are drawn to you like a magnet. Example, "I love soccer, but what I like most is the atmosphere. It's like a little party." If you say, "Soccer is my life," and then can't name a single player, it's weird. Be honest about your weaknesses. If you don't know how to do something, don't try to hide it. Women appreciate when a man is open and not afraid to admit his traditions. Example, "I've never been to a dance class, but I've always wanted to try. Would you like to be my teacher?" The main thing is, don't start with, "I'm a total sucker, so prepare for disaster." That already sounds like an excuse. Become the best representative of yourself, not someone else. Evolve, but remain yourself. This shows that you are striving to rise, but do not betray your essence. And if you say, "I'm working on myself to become someone everyone will love," it sounds like you're taking an exam for society. When you remain yourself, you create an atmosphere of sincerity and trust. A woman sees that you don't have to fake it to impress her, and that earns respect. And yes, it is far better to be yourself than someone who struggles to maintain their perfect image, because it doesn't stand up to scrutiny in real life. Friends, don't try to be someone else. The real you is much more interesting than a made-up image. Sincerity and honesty is what really attracts and creates a strong connection. Give us a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, and click the bell. In this installment, we discuss how to manage your energy sources and why it's so important for the benefits of communication. Let's go! Friends, emotions are your engine that can either drive you to success or drive you into a ditch. Managing your energy sources isn't just about controlling anger or nerves. It's about how you show up. And yes, If you get wound up like an old coffee grinder every time a girl doesn't respond to you right away, don't be surprised if she stops opening your messages altogether. Why is emotion control so important? Emotions are transmitted. Your mood affects the atmosphere. If you are tense or irritated, this is transmitted to the girl. Remember, no one wants to sit across from a man who looks like he's ready to go attack the boxer fighter sitting at the next table. Maturity is a compliment. Being able to control your emotions and keeping your cool shows that you are ready for serious communication, not emotional swings. If your tactic is to slam the door and write, "Well, keep quiet then you resemble a teenager rather than a grown man. Nerves and panic spoil the experience. If you worry too much, it looks like you are in an exam where the question decides your life. And if your greeting is, hi. Oh no, not like that. Hi, it's me. She may think you called by accident. How do you learn to control your behavior? Breathe deeply. Take a few breaths before a conversation or date. It helps to calm your nerves and focus. The key is not to look like a yogi about to get enlightened right on the spot. Remember that this is just a conversation, not a project to be handed over to a formidable boss. Example, instead of, "What if I say the wrong thing?" Think, "This is a chance to get to know a new person, and it's exciting." And if you're still nervous, remember that she has bad days and weird conversations too. It's a normal part of life. Let go of expectations. Don't focus on safety. Think not about whether she likes you, but about how to make communication enjoyable for both of you. This isn't a contest where you're vying for the title of Best Conversationalist of the Year. Mistakes to keep in mind: don't blow up over little things. If she responds to a message after an hour, that's no reason to be outraged. Example, wrong. Why aren't you talking? Glad you took the time to answer. How are you doing? And yes, if you keep texting women for 5 minutes, are you here? Well, missing? It's more like a delivery service operator than an interesting man. Don't turn the date into a drama. If something went wrong, you don't need to emphasize it. If you accidentally spill coffee on yourself, don't say, "Oh my gosh, I messed up." Rather, say, "Well, the coffee decided to be closer to me than I expected." Don't show desperation. If a girl sees that you're too uptight or trying to please, it can push her away. It's not like she came to a casting call where you're trying to get the lead role in your life. Being able to manage your potential shows your confidence and maturity. When you are calm and positive, it makes communication relaxed and enjoyable. If you start a conversation by saying, "I was so nervous before this date," it sounds more like you're a teenager going on a first date. Friends, learn to manage your emotions and tension. This is the key not only to successful communication, but also to your outward calmness. Give us a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel and click the bell. In this installment, we'll discuss how to not get hung up on one outcome and why it's important for your relationship. Let's go. Let's reveal a terrible secret. Women are not looking for another glamorous stereotype that will haunt them at night with compliments of the level, "You're a star, let's forget about everything together." No, ladies do not want to be just beautiful objects that can be touched with another phrase from the arsenal of seducers. Women want to see a man in front of them who is interested in their life and personality. And yes, it's not just some cliché, it's true. It's the reality of life. If your strategy is to inundate the girl with phrases like, "You're amazing," "You're so beautiful I forgot my own address," don't be surprised if she decides you want to break her heart to be really dramatic. You're the best, but unfortunately, I'm not ready for a serious relationship. What do women really appreciate? Interest in their personality. Women appreciate it when a man is interested in their inner world. Believe me, phrases like, "You are beautiful like a star," can be nice, but they do not create a deep contact. It is important, not banal phrases, but revealing interesting issues, her opinions and preferences. Example, bad approach. "You're amazing. You look like a cover model." Good approach. "I noticed you're into drawing. That's so interesting. What do you like to do in your free time?" And yes, if your question ends on the level of, "Do you like shopping?" it's definitely not the way to her heart. Yes, we all love shopping, but what if she prefers an in-depth discussion of quantum physics, a desire to get to know her inner world? Women appreciate genuine interest because it shows your willingness to see beyond their looks and superficial characteristics. They want you to see them as a person, not as someone else's trophy. Try, of course, to hook her with the phrase, "You must always attract the attention of men because you're so beautiful." But don't be surprised if she looks away thinking, "Of course, I always think about how I'm just the perfect picture on the wall." Appreciate her hobbies and preferences. Real interest is when you care about her hobbies, dreams, and even her little joys. The more she thinks you are interested in her life, and not just her looks, the more she will open up. Example: bad approach. You're a goddess beauty. Shall we meet on Friday? Good approach. I noticed you talked about your passion for painting. I've always wanted to try it myself. Tell me more about it. If you try to charm again with your platitude about how she looks against the sunset, don't be surprised if she thinks you're just trying to win the best romance contest. 1987. Ask questions that give her room to open up. Don't try to bombard her with standard questions like, do you like to travel? Or, do you eat salads? Rather, ask her what she might actually care about and be interested in. Example: instead of, do you like sports? Form, what sport do you like and why? Instead of, what is your favorite music? Say, what songs have touched your heart? Is there one? You don't want to be the guy who tells her on the first date that you look so much like my ex. If that's the case, start writing down your answers in a notebook so that no ridiculous situation arises. Don't forget to pay attention to detail. Women like to be listened to carefully. Point out what you will remember, what she likes or what she cares about. The small things you memorize can have a much bigger impact than compliments of the "you're as beautiful as a star." Level. Example: you said you don't like the color red because it reminds you of bad memories. I wouldn't want to do something unpleasant. You said you can't stand the noisy city. How do you spend your weekends to get some rest? If you come across your favorite book on your next date, don't say, "Oh, I read it too when I was 13, it was awesome." This can create a weird atmosphere, as if you're looking for common points in her life in order to seem more like her. Sincere interest is your backup weapon for building trust and deep rapport. When a woman thinks you really want to get to know her, and not just appreciate her, this approach helps to like and bond. She won't feel like just an object of admiration. If you think you can get her heart with phrases like, "You're the best girl in the world," then maybe you should try your hand at something more interesting than being a guy with a corny approach. Remember, genuine interest and attention to personality is the key to a good relationship. Focus on who she is, not just what she looks like. Subscribe to the channel Infoport Psychology and don't forget to click on the bell. In this part, we discussed why it is important to be attentive and see the inner world of a girl and not just her figure. The reality is this: if you're always too good, life turns into a TV series where the plot doesn't change with each episode. If a girl knows that you will behave according to the same script every time, it can seem tedious. When there is an element of surprise in your interactions, it creates sparks and adds intrigue. The slight unpredictability makes you more interesting, and your encounters more memorable. So be sure to have that very unexpected element that brings flavor to their lives. Sure, you can always be constant, like ordering the same dish every time on a date because there's no choice. I'm not someone who eats everything. But only after 10 identical dates in the same cafe, she will begin to think that you are not a man, but rather a character for a series like How to Be Monotonous. Well, if you want her to definitely get bored, keep ordering the same pasta on every date. It'll get her as excited as an evening at the record store without her hearing. What does unpredictability do? It keeps things interesting. When you give a woman a little bit of surprise, she starts to expect what's coming next. You don't become boring. Every proposal you make is a new and interesting twist in the story. You show that you know how to surprise, and she doesn't need to plan in advance what will happen to you. Example: bad approach. How about the same cafe we went to last time? Good approach. Let's try something out of the box today. There's a place with an artisan cocoa that will blow your taste buds away. If you call her to the same place every time, by the third date, she'll start to suspect that you still haven't memorized her name and your brain is running on autopilot, pumping the neural connections of the average date. Demonstrates your confidence. Unpredictable in a good way means you are confident in yourself and your actions. You're not afraid to try new things, and you don't strive for picture perfect, which tends to be boring. It shows that you are willing to have adventures that add to your experience. Example: bad approach. You don't mind going to the place where we always eat dinner, do you? Good approach. I found out about a place that makes steaks so good you'll forget what vegetarianism is. How about that? She always sees you in the same pose with the same order. She might think at the end of the finale that you are a video game character who got stuck on one level and couldn't get out of the game. So if you want to be interesting, make at least one variable in your scenarios. Unpredictability helps create an atmosphere of lightness and playfulness. You don't have to be 100% serious all the time. Sometimes the element of surprise can set the stage and awaken emotions. Ease of communication is the key to a woman's heart. And when she doesn't know what's coming next, it only adds to the fun. Example: bad approach. Let's sit on the couch and watch movies again. Good approach. Let's change the plan. Let's buy tickets to a musical and then have a Predator karaoke night. I haven't sung in a while, but your ears are sure to enjoy tonight. If you suggest something as boring as a quiet evening in front of the TV, she is unlikely to feel that the evening will be anything out of the ordinary. After such an offer, she is likely to just want to go to sleep and wake up the next morning to ask herself, why am I living like this, and do I need it? How to be unpredictable without going overboard. Be original with your proposals. This doesn't mean you need to change your whole life for one date, but doing something out of the ordinary in time is important. Instead of always going the usual routes, find something new to add to the magic. Example: instead of ordering dinner at the usual cafeteria, you can offer something unexpected. How about we cook dinner together? I found a recipe for something exotic. Are you willing to risk it? But don't go to extremes. Don't put her in front of a choice, like on a reality show where she has to choose what she's going to have for lunch. Are we going to have sushi and ice cream or make French croissants? It's just confusing. Change the rhythm of communication. Sometimes quiet evenings can be changed to dynamic. Go for a walk, discuss plans, but do not make your conversations monotonous. Take a pause, but do not forget to bring up topics of interest to her in time. Example: bad approach. How's your day today? Good approach. Look, if we had 24 hours to really enjoy life, what would you do? If your question about 24 hours sounds like the most boring personal safety test ever, she'll be waiting for you to get paid to ask questions. Ask her in a way that makes her feel like she's in for an adventure right now. Impulsive, but don't waste time. Unpredictability doesn't mean you have to change your plans every second and act randomly. The main thing is that your actions should be well thought out, but still a little unexpected. Example: bad approach. I booked tickets to Paris. We're leaving tomorrow. Good approach. How about going somewhere new for the weekend? I found a great place to vacation. If your sudden idea is something completely crazy like, let's fly to the moon, she might think you're not only unpredictable, but also a little out of touch with reality. Unpredictability in communication keeps things interesting and creates an atmosphere of ease and intrigue. It helps you ignore boredom and turn every moment into a little adventure. Women like it when a man isn't boring or predictable. It adds to your uniqueness and appeal. If you think your consistency is a strength, get ready for it to find a way to sneak out before the routine catches you. Be unpredictable in a good way. Make your dates exciting, but remember that lightness and sincerity are important. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe to the Infoport Psychology channel, and don't forget to click the bell. In this part, we discussed why it's important to be interesting, not a boring guy.